Trash to Cash podcast episode, whatever the heck episode it is. Hi guys, how's it going?
Good. You don't want to keep talking about what we were talking about?
No, we got Carrie the American Picker, and then Kevin the American Picker down there. We're all American Pickers. I don't know. I'm tired. I've been in freaking California.
It's terrible.
I'm
doing good.
I've got like more jet lag than normal. I'm not really sure what has happened, but I'm very jet laggy today from this trip. I was like just falling asleep sitting around my house today. It was very odd. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Pretty good. Yeah. Not flying, so that's always a plus.
What's that?
Not flying, so that's a plus.
I was actively trying to figure out what episode this is. 85, episode 85. Hi guys.
Is it already? Really?
85. Wow. You know what? And no one even wanted to watch our controversial episode last week. Did you notice that, Kevin? It did terribly. No one really cares about
hearing about bubble wrap anymore. I'm tired of it.
Yeah,
although I enjoyed thoroughly reading the comments.
Yeah, they all were on Team Kevin. They were very mad at us that we kept interrupting your boring speech about bubble wrap and how you made a mistake and you were terribly sorry. And then I even admitted that maybe we were too hard, and then somebody said I was being soft. I think it was you, Kevin. You said stop being soft. So I took that to heart. I take nothing back.
I'm reading the comments. I'm reading the comments, and I'm like, Carrie's not going to like these comments. I just tell you, Carrie's like weeping in his bedroom right now.
It's true. I was so sad.
I didn't actually. I'm going to look at some of them. 254 comments. Holy cow.
Yeah, a lot of comments.
That's a lot of comments. Wow. And yeah, I mean, I don't really know what's been happening with Gubblebait. I like that better. With Gubblebait, but I do know that I randomly caught Kevin sending some message about 50% off supplies, so I went and ordered like $600 worth of boxes. I don't know.
That's awesome. So that
whatever.
50% off Supply Hut, right?
If you, that was one of the things. Well, I don't want to talk about Bubble, but I'm going to say this. And then
no, we need to, because I haven't been paying attention. What's the deal?
So that means it's only like
it's on my show
10% off then, right? I forgot how we did the math last time.
Well, he reduces 30% of the bubble wrap, and then you get a 50% discount.
It's not bubble wrap. So it's the other, they took that off, and whatever. Anyway. So it's 50 off is the code, and that was one of the things. I didn't even ask for it, and he did it anyway. So, I said I'd give credit where credit was due, and I got a message today.
And how much affiliate money do you get from that?
None. 0.
Ugh. Dang. That's brutal.
Are we getting the affiliate money then? Somebody's got to get it.
Who's getting the affiliate money in this scenario?
No, there is no. It's 50% off. How much money you think is out there?
Listen, anyway. I also thought I saw you say you cut economic ties with Charlie.
I did.
Didn't you say that? What's that mean? Like there's no more code Commonwealth?
I told him, no, there's actually still a code Commonwealth, and you can still get 5% off. But why would you get 5% off if you could get 50% off?
But what does it mean, cut economic ties? What does that mean?
It means I get no money from any
anymore?
links. Means I don't get any money from any links.
So you can. Are you gonna stop saying Supply Hut on your
I have.
Like,
well,
chat?
I mean, look, I'm trying to deal with it right now, right? So
yeah,
I don't know. You look 6 months from now, somebody does a test and everything's good and everything is as they say it is and what they're doing and they're saying quite a bit. And I will just say that, especially in the last few days, I've been extremely happy. Because I've got people saying, yes, I got my refund. Yes, I got my refund. Yes, they shipped me this. Everybody, yes, here's the screenshot of my $600 of boxes that I paid $300 for. I've been pretty happy. It seems like stuff's going in the right direction. But like I said, I don't own the business, right? So it's like I don't want to make promises. But
well, okay, so with the whole Supply Hut thing, though, are you now like saying, okay, I'm out for 6 months? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm doing.
Are you saying that like people could use code NC Picker for the next 6 months, basically?
American Arbitrage, I think, is mine.
That sounds good.
First of all, I don't know how long the 50 off is going to last. I mean, I have got so many messages from people, and you bought $600. I bought a ton of boxes.
600 minus
I spent more than that.
I've
got messages from people like, "Oh, I just spent $800." I mean, how long is this stuff going to last? So I don't know how long it is, but 50 off. If you want to order, then be my guest.
Well, okay. So I also saw a comment on one of my videos saying that they got the wrong number of boxes. Have you checked this? Like they ordered 25 and got 23.
I mentioned this on my show. I think I did, anyways. So I have a lot of boxes laying around because I hate not having them when I need them.
Yeah.
So, and this is my story, right? This is what happened to me. I'm not saying this person didn't get the right number of
It'd be
boxes.
cool if
They
you
very
sang
well
it
could.
like a musical, like sang this part of your story.
Yes.
It's probably
Sarah McLachlan.
probably a good
So-
time to mention our new sponsor too, right? Are we going to do that now or later?
No, after.
It's 1-800-Flowers, guys. 1-800-Flowers. When you make a mistake, say you choose like somebody as an affiliate and they make a mistake and it's also your mistake because you're tied to them, send flowers to people. 1-800-Flowers. I'm trying to court them because they got a lot of money, guys. So if we get a few free plugs, we'll get them paid.
I thought we were recording Miss Cleo from the 90s.
Miss Cleo, is she still around?
That's right.
She knows if she's around. She knows
exactly.
all. Okay, Kevin.
She knew 20 years ago
know.
if she'd
She
still
probably
be around.
knows we're going to have this conversation. She knows we had
She
it.
probably already sent a message.
All right, what were you saying, Kevin?
Check your email.
I don't
you
even
forget?
know what I was saying. I got no idea. Oh, I counted my boxes. So I do have, what I had was, I had a series of boxes that I went in, and some had already partially been opened that I'm using, but some were sealed. So I went into the sealed ones, and they counted out right. And then I went to the, how they're shipped in boxes, but they come in little sets and there's plastic around them or something. So I took those out. I counted those. What I couldn't, I think I counted off by one, but I could have counted wrong. And of course it was short. It's never more.
Did you test them for if they're secure? Like, did you throw some of them off the Adam and Eve pleasure dome? Because I'm assuming that's what you're changing the supply hut to.
What I
did
couldn't
you throw
count,
some glass out and see if they landed securely?
What I couldn't count was the craft bubble mailers because I had already taken some out, so I have no idea. But and this stuff, that's what I like to see about this. It looks like other people. I've got messages from other people saying I bought this from this company and I went and did this and I've got a return from them too. And I feel like that's what needs to happen. And
the whole industry is getting cleaned up.
It really. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's better. We're better off now than we were 5 months ago or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
okay, so
like
Code
the
NC
Batman
Picker. I'm going to reach out to Charlie, and I'm going to try to, now that he's not having to pay you all this money, Kevin, I'm going to try to get him to up my code to 10% off so that, basically everyone
what about
uses
the
my
code for
once
trash
the
to
50
cash?
off
We took
goes
that
away.
down too. We took it off the website.
I didn't
but
take
maybe,
it down.
I don't
Did
know.
you take it down?
I swear we got
website.
supply hut orders
Okay,
this week. I saw them.
People.
Oh, maybe you didn't. Maybe it's there. I don't know. But 50 off is better than any of that anyway.
People can do what they want. He's not selling bubble wrap anymore. I don't really understand
he is.
cutting ties with him.
Yeah, he is. Well,
He is.
I don't know that this needs to be public, but I'll say it, I guess.
Say it. Let's hear it.
If you don't and you keep promoting it, what's the incentive to get stuff right?
I see.
So, okay, if it's
Strong
right
arming
and
him.
now you have a
Me and
track
Terry
record.
don't sell much, so us changing it up
Yeah,
won't
we're
really
just like,
change
whatever.
Charlie's life.
I know the one.
I will
sale
just tell
get
you
a
this:
month.
that code was used a lot,
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
So there's an incentive. Now, I don't know what he sells. I don't know what percentage comes off of that link versus the massive business. I don't really know, but what else are you going to do? You can't just keep doing it until stuff is fixed. And if stuff is fixed and there's a track record, then that's a different story. But,
Yeah.
I do
But
really.
did you
One thing
take
I
the
have
supply
enjoyed
hut
from
off the shed?
it's not on the shed. It wasn't physically.
Well, it was like on
the
a
shed.
TV or something.
Yeah. I put up.
But you're
I
not-
put up
you're not
people in
displaying
the
that?
Discord. I put up ABC Matt and
Okay.
who's the other one? I can't remember. I put up Grams and Pops today.
Gotcha.
And I put up a couple other ones too. So the preacher, reselling.
One thing
preacher,
I've
is that what it
enjoyed
is?
from the
Side
whole
hustle
Bubblegate thing is FJ Treasures, who kind of broke this news. Their thumbnails are amazing. Like the last one, it said like 1,200 miles of missing bubble wrap or whatever, and he's standing with the
Must watch
beautiful
Dave.
grass in the background, looking like he's like crossing the Delaware, like he's George Washington.
Acres.
He's crossing the
that would be
Delaware.
a
It's
good one.
beautiful. It was a good thumbnail. It was artistic.
Folksy.
It was well done. It was folksy.
That's good. All right, no more bubble wrap for now. Let's talk about.
No,
Dave.
I'm looking at his thumbnail. That is. Oh, and Kevin's the top comment on that video. Did you see that?
No, look,
I?
Kevin's.
I don't want to know the
Kevin's on
replies.
top of
There's
it.
a lot of people in there that hate me, so hey.
Glad I always ignored your recommendation.
And all of them are Tommy Bernard's accounts.
I
All of
enjoy
them.
your
All
vids,
of
but
the
never
accounts.
liked the endorsement. That was pretty good. Rename your supply hut.
Let's
Says
read
Richard. Says Richard Tricklin.
Richard
Richard
Tricklin.
Just think of what the
Tricklin.
short
Trickle.
name is there.
Dip
It's a
Tricklin
NASCAR.
doesn't like what you're doing.
Nikki said, "I don't think you have to apologize." Oh no, this one's positive. Let's not read that.
Yeah,
anyways,
don't give him any kind of encouragement.
I mean, Bubblegate was fun. It doesn't seem like it really got the engagement I was looking for. I really wanted, people to get angry and click, and they're just no one really cares.
I put a
honestly,
video
at the end of
out
the day.
about it already, Dave. So that was my video.
Yeah,
was
Kevin
on
has
Monday.
monetized and milked this as much as humanly
Oh
possible.
my god!
Speaking of milking things, let's give a shout out to the Patreons real quick.
Yes.
Who are our top patrons? The ones who let me apologize first. I have not been putting their names at the end of the episodes
No, you
because
I don't even look.
Oh,
I have
are
them
you
all.
going to give a refund? Where's your customer
I-
service, Dave?
listen,
I think
I
they
already
deserve a
gave them a
refund.
refund out of your portion, so it's all good. So when you see a little less money, and see, this is why it's so next level. This refund is I didn't actually give it, but I am going to take money from you. So it's a win-win for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Put 'em
But
at
we'll
the
get it
end
right in the
twice.
next time. We'll get it right in the next time. It's just
So we have to make
it's because
these
we did
really
that live
valuable.
show, Carrie. No, it's
So
because we did that
everybody-
live show that screwed it up.
Yeah. It did. It screwed everything up. Biscuit Butt, he's one of our Patreons, guys. You should go. If you enjoy average content, go give him a follow. We have Raise Hell
No
Resell.
content.
We
Yep.
he
Happy
doesn't even
Hound
do
Trading.
content, really.
Happy Hound Trading, Matt's Profit
Happy-
Pursuit, Harold,
Oh, yeah.
Tornado, the
Yeah, we
Disgruntled
got
Octopus,
Horny
I have a
Tornado.
bone to
We got
pick
all of
with
them.
him.
Diana Aruzman Austin, also known as Chick Favors, Superhero Headquarters, the SoCal Flippers, Vintage
Chick
Sports Flips,
Favors?
ABC Matt, right?
Sales
Did
by
you say
Tony,
Chick
Des
Favors?
Hardy. Yes, I did.
What about
New
Death
Jersey
Pile
Picker,
Picker?
Logan,
Right?
Marker County Picker?
No,
Parker
he's
County
my
Picker? I don't know.
Patreon. Just
What'd you say,
mine.
Carrie?
It's my benefit.
Oh, was
say?
Death Pile
He's
Picker
your
in there, or is he
benefactor.
just in the...
Death Pile? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Don't mention.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't even say.
Sorry,
that.
don't forget I said that. Bleep
so
it.
I'll
Bleep it out.
delete his name in editing. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very
Dave-
appreciative to the patrons. We've had a bunch of people sign up recently too, and we do really.
They're our
appreciate it.
favorite.
There is
people,
zero value.
hands
I just
down.
want to make sure everybody knows that. The only value,
There's no
since
real
Dave wasn't
value
even
to the
in there
Patreon,
this
I
week.
agree.
Carrie's hardly ever in there, and I was in there propping up the ship. But the people in there are amazing, and they've been finding crazy stuff. I bought something off of somebody in the Discord. I did.
Really?
Did you
What'd
see
you
that?
buy?
All it's got to
I
be
spent
is just obscure
$200.
80s wrestling stuff, and you'll buy it.
What did you spend $200 on?
Rumored to be great. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, I know who that is in the Discord.
He found some sealed VHS that were actually worth money. And
Such
I
as?
bought Spaceballs, one of the early edition of Spaceballs, I think. Yeah, Spaceballs is good. And one of the early editions of Blazing Saddles as well.
Wow.
I think there's a very rare copy that came out of both of those first. But Spaceballs might be first edition, which means if it's in great shape, I'm going to do okay. And I gave him more than he asked because he's in that. I'm like, how much you want? He said $150. I said, how about 200? Dave would have said, how about 50?
Yeah.
But to
I
be
think-
fair, you are mentioning it on the podcast, so you did it for the wrong reasons. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Did what for the
Yeah,
wrong
the
reasons?
charity part. The charity part.
The
where you
charity
paid too
part,
much,
because you're mentioning it.
You
trying
did
to
it
get
just so you.
credibility,
No,
or
I'll
it
tell you
feels
why
like
I
wasn't
did it.
Sincere.
I tell you why I did it, because if it comes back, if I get that thing and it's in great shape, I will get it graded and I will make a decent amount of money if I decide to sell that one. That's
Where
why
are
I
you
did
sending it? CSG or who's doing it? I forgot.
probably
WADA?
IGS.
Can I tell you what
IGS,
happened
guys.
at a flea market? And this will be a bit of a spoiler for a video upcoming, but I went to
Yeah,
the
nobody's
Webster
gonna
Flea
watch
Market,
it, Dave.
as you know, with Philly Flipper and Rod picking and punching. And as we're kind of walking out, we see someone selling Pokemon cards, and a lot of them are graded, right? And they have all types of gambling going on there, Carrie. Really, Carrie
Oh, yeah,
style,
that's a
right?
card
Like
show
they
thing,
have.
yeah.
Is it called slabs when they're graded?
Yeah.
What is it called when it's graded? Yeah. Anyways, they had those ones like
It's a
in
slab,
bubble
yeah.
mailers. A slab, yeah. They had a slab, and it was like 10 bubble mailers and a little like thing. Pay $75 and you get to open one, and one of them has a rainbow Pikachu, which is worth $350. They're all graded. You're gonna get something. It may or may not be worth $75.
It's
Here's the
graded,
beautiful
so they
thing.
already know what's in those things.
Yeah.
they
know.
all-
They
So
put
you
tipping
have
in
typically
to
there.
there's a
trust
floor.
that's in there.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it
yeah,
could
I
be a
guess you
lie.
do have to trust. Yeah.
It could be a lie. So they must do the math and say, okay, this one's worth $350, this one's worth $30, this one's worth $40, and they figure it all out. And say, if
Exactly.
we sell
There's
them all,
like
we're
everything's
out.
going to be. There's a floor like
Right.
$30, and then there's a high one at like $350, and
Yeah.
you hopefully get the high one or something in the middle.
Yeah.
You break
And they
even
might
on.
lie, and it might not be in there at all.
Well,
You know,
unless they
so
open them
it's a
all
gamble.
right there, and so
Yeah,
if you
you gotta
stand
buy
there the
them
whole
all.
time, you'll
That's
know.
the key.
Right? No, you don't have to
That's
buy
the
them
only
all.
thing.
If you buy
Somebody
them
has to
all,
buy.
if you're the one selling them, then you're going to make it so if they all sell, you win.
Oh, of course.
Right? You win.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So
Carrie would
anyway,
do
so
this.
Here's the thing
I
about
go there.
gambling: the house always wins, Dave. Always.
I go there, and there was 2 games. One was like a spinny wheel, and you got some pack, and that one was I think $20 or something, right? And I did that one, and I lost. I got like a $5 pack, and Paul and Rod laugh at me. And Rod's like, Dave, you see this $75 slab one? I'm like, ooh, that seems interesting. I said, maybe I'll do that. And so I give them $75, for the content, and maybe I'll get the $350 Pikachu. And so I open it up, and you wouldn't believe it. Guess what I got?
You got
A
it.
$30 slab.
I got a freaking worthless slab. You got it, Carrie. A $30 slab, and I lost $45. But Rod was like, well, now my chances are better, so I'm going to go. And I said, yeah, I think that makes sense. He's like, I'm a degenerate gambler, so you can't stop me. Right?
That's a
Because
good
Paul was
point.
telling him not to.
Because what if the guy in front of you opens
your
that good
odds
one?
go
It's
up.
like the rest of them are
They're useless,
garbage,
yeah.
right?
But now you have the thumbnail. You
There's got
have
to
like
be a
the
game.
blurry.
I would not do this.
You could blur out the slab. You can be crying, and it could say loser.
Dude, the
And then you
thumbnail's
gotta-
even
you got a
better, though,
thumbnail.
because guess what Rod pulled? He pulled the freaking Pikachu.
Rod.
The
There you go, the
$350
rainbow
card
Pikachu, dude.
he gets. And I'm like, oh my
He
gosh.
could walk into any TCG game shop,
Yeah.
and he would be a god with that card.
Yeah.
They would just be crying.
Dude, it was a
It's so
cool
beautiful.
card. It was a really cool card. I get this $30 one. He got a $350 one. It was, that's got to be the thumbnail.
And so
right?
he
Like,
gave you
holding
some
the
money,
rainbow
right?
Pikachu.
I would have given you
No.
your $45
Yeah, that's
back.
true. Did he give the people money
That's what
since
I
he
would've
made
done.
it was worth more than the $75?
The
That's what he
question
should
is,
have
do
done.
those people
Come on,
then
Rod.
tell the next 7 people that the good one was already pulled? Or do they
That
not
is
say?
true.
Because I wouldn't if I was the seller. I mean,
Here's
would
the
you?
thing, because I go to card shops a lot. They'll tell you if, like, in any given hobby box, say there's 20 packs, there's 3 autographs per box. They won't tell you if the autographs have been pulled, but if you're buying packs and there's still some live, they'll tell you, oh, a couple autographs are still live. But if they're not telling you anything,
Yeah,
that's
and
a
also
reason.
what they do is if they're like way down in that box and they know it hasn't been pulled, they'll just keep it to the side and open them themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all
well,
would do this. Y'all are nuts.
Anyways, yeah, it was an interesting thing. I mean, speaking of cards, though, guys, we have a little bit of a card celebrity in our presence. I don't know why you haven't changed your name on here to Carry American Arbitrage Cards, because you're getting some massive clicks on those videos,
Dude,
and they're
I am.
not
It's
even
growing.
entertaining. For a non-card liker.
Yeah, they're
For
definitely
a
like
non-card
inside
person, they
baseball
are a
stuff.
snooze fest. But I can totally get how card people would love them. Totally.
Do you know what Dawn called me?
Like,
She said I'm the niche lady for baseball cards. I just sit
That's
there and
right,
talk about
yeah.
stuff in depth. That's what I
Yeah,
do.
that's true.
I can nerd out
People
about
love
it. It's
it.
been doing well. It's doing better than my regular stuff, which is I don't know if
yeah,
that's
you
good
should
or
just
bad.
quit
but
your regular stuff and just focus on the cards. I mean, why
no,
not?
I'm
at
still
this
doing my
point?
regular stuff. I found
Dude,
Furbies
this
and I've already
card
sold
channel-
some this
doesn't
weekend.
Doesn't this card channel have such bigger potential though? Like really?
Yeah, probably.
I feel like
There's
that
a lot
card
less people
channel can
doing
blow up,
specifically
yeah.
what I'm doing too.
Long
Lots
term.
of
Very.
competition.
Well, I mean, it's the kind of content you'd want to watch, and there's not many people doing it.
It's because
So
the
it's-
people who are doing it, they don't have,
They don't have a ridiculous
mom's
amount of knowledge
basement,
about it.
Yeah.
Of
course,
they don't
Carrie
have
just
30
got out of
years
Here's the
of not
thing.
having to pay
basement.
bills.
Here's the thing about card content that I learned. Nobody is doing it GoPro picker style. Hardly anybody.
Yeah.
Very few people. So
Yeah.
going in with a GoPro to a card show or a hobby shop is interesting for I think a lot of people. So.
Expensive content.
No,
Well,
I mean
yeah,
because everything
no.
I'm buying
You're buying
dollar
dollar
box stuff and I'm
cards.
flipping it. I'm selling it.
Yeah.
And people
But the
watch it
stuff
for
he flips,
dollar
like I
cards.
watch, and I'm like, why
guess
would
I sell
anyone flip that?
Tupperware.
It's like $1 to $4, and he's like excited, like this is a great one. And he shows like a comp of $3.
I am excited
I'm like,
because I enjoy it, man. I really
but I
do
think
like
the
it.
viewers are too. I think the viewers are excited too. But I'm
Yeah,
just
it's
sitting
kind
there
of
like,
nerd
what?
stuff. It's kind of like being a 73-year-old man collecting VHSs or whatever. It's there's a
Yeah,
niche
that
of
is
people
true.
who love it.
Yeah, he is
There
really
is
old.
for sure, no doubt. That's funny. Speaking of
Anyways,
tiny flips, I
congratulations,
sold
Carrie.
Tupperware.
Thank you, man. I
Sold
appreciate it.
Tupperware.
Good job,
You did?
Kev. On
Do you even
Bonanza.
resell? Dave, I had the worst. This could be your thumbnail here. I had the worst month of reselling in like 2 years. This month.
Really?
Well, look sad for the thumbnail.
No,
Yeah,
there's
look-
actually
make a sad
some reasons
face.
behind it. I shut the store down the first week of the month because of the highway sale here where everybody came in, and then I shut it down for another week when I went to the beach on vacation. Then I was dealing with Bubblegate and doing 2 Whatnot shows, and it's like, dude, I just couldn't keep up. It wasn't awful, but it just was.
So you just described like 6 hours total of work for the whole week.
6 hours.
How was that?
Vacation?
Yeah, you did 2 whatnot shows. You
highways?
didn't do anything other than show up, and then everybody shipped everything for you, and then you were on vacation.
I forgot
That's
at the end
valid,
of
you
it
are lazy.
to raid somebody. I totally blew my mind. But oh well.
Yeah, that's all right. I haven't done a whatnot auction in a while. I did get a shirt. So Josh rated someone. Josh Harold Tornado, who you have a bone to pick, but don't forget. Remember that. I thought you said you had a bone to pick with him.
I do. I wrote it down. I'm not going to forget.
Okay, good. He's not gonna forget. So he rated this guy who was like a real nice guy, a sweetheart, and everyone was paying too much because that's what happens when Josh raids you. You overpay for crap. And I overpaid for this shirt to help the guy out, but it is a pretty cool shirt. You see this?
That is a
Batman
cool shirt.
Returns. Batman Returns.
Is that
Really
vintage
cool.
or a remake?
Single stitch, baby. Single
Nice.
stitch.
How much?
How much?
Did you pay?
Like I think I paid $90 for it, so it was not cheap.
yeah.
But I still might do okay
I
on
would
it.
say it's.
You might still make a
1992 is
profit.
the
That's
date on
dope.
there. Yeah, it might have been 100 even, but I still think like with the color and it's in like minty condition, it's freaking cool.
Does
So
it
that's
fit
like the
you?
most
'Cause
I've
that's
ever
cool,
spent on a
man.
shirt, other than
That
Raleigh
seems
Green.
like your style, like something you'd wear to Universal
Does it fit me?
Studios to
It's your
flex on
colors,
It
everybody.
does.
actually.
It's a large. Yeah, it would fit me.
ADHD colors.
Dude, it fits you.
Oh,
You
I
should
got-
just keep it.
Yeah, I might keep. Yeah, I mean, but then it'll shrink. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to keep something that expensive. You know how it is.
Did
Even if
you-
you find something you love, it's like, oh, but $100 sounds better.
Did you ever sell that one
true.
thing you said you bought on Whatnot and we're going to flip it and it was pretty good profit?
Yeah.
Did you ever? Did it
Yeah,
sell?
I sold both of those. I sold.
Nice.
So I bought. Actually, I bought 5 figures, and I spent I think a grand total of like $600 at that auction. I've sold 2 of them and brought in around $1,250, something $1,200 bucks.
Nice.
Dang.
I think the other ones are
And
about
these were-
150 to 200 a piece.
What
Action
were
figures.
they? Like the
Action
FX statues, or were they like Diamond Select, or what brands?
I'll tell you. I don't know off the top of my
It's
head.
been 6 8
It was-
You don't even know.
No, I mean I had looked. I comped them up while I was on it. The reason I could get them is because everyone was afraid of the $80 shipping charge because he was in Canada. And once you bought the first one, the shipping was cheap. But no one was willing to buy the first one. Once I bought the first one, all my shipping was discounted, and I ended up cleaning up because he was selling stuff for a good deal, and I knew it because he was in Canada. But they were at, what was it, Trigun? Isn't that an anime thing? Trigun?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
like it.
It was those. I mean, the other ones are Dragon Ball and Pirates, Pop of Pirates, some POP thing. But anyways, that was a fun flip. It's fun to succeed on Whatnot. I've got 4 boxes of plush here that I'm going to lose money on just because I'm trying to support plush auctions. So if I buy from your plush auctions, don't be surprised if I try to recoup some of my money a few weeks later because I don't need this. I don't
Why
need
don't
them.
you just
The
stop
circle
buying?
of Whatnot life, right there.
You
Yeah,
could
exactly.
stop buying. You could.
I haven't bought in like a week and a half, but that has been because I've been traveling.
Yeah. Did you shut it down at your store? Did you leave it open for sales?
I left it open, but I still only sold 7 items in a whole week. So I haven't listed in a while, guys.
Yeah.
It has been a long while since I've listed. I've been way too busy. This work trip was like really draining. Very draining compared to normal, just a ton going on. I had a ton extra to do than what I would normally do on a work trip. It was in California, Carrie. I didn't even hit you up because I figured I wasn't going to be there long enough to
Yeah,
see
I
you.
saw, and it hurt my feelings, but I figured you were super busy because you
I
were
didn't
flying
get
in
any
and out
messages
quickly.
from Dave, Carrie, nobody.
Yeah, I didn't hear
I'm
anything
going
from
through
Dave.
crisis mode, and nobody says a word. Appreciate it. That's good
Yeah,
stuff.
no, I didn't even pay attention. I mean, hopefully everything worked out for you.
Nah, we're fine.
Well, I
I'd say
got,
this
I mean, I
boat was
got
great.
Dawn living up in St. George right now, which is a whole
Still?
other issue with her
She's
dad.
still up
Yeah,
there?
she's probably got to be there for another month until they can get him into some
Good
sort of
Lord.
hospice or something.
So is this why you haven't been doing auctions then? Because you don't want to
I've been
ship it?
trying. I just haven't been able to do as many as I want. I'm doing an auction tomorrow. Dawn is driving an hour and a half down to help us, and then she's driving back, and then we're doing one Thursday. So
Oof.
it's not far enough
You
to where we
couldn't bring
can't,
him down to Vegas? You
he
wouldn't want to?
really can't. I mean, he only has one leg, and he's got a lot of issues right now. Unfortunately, he's doing a little bit better, but like he needs help beyond what Dawn can do for him because Dawn's not a paid nurse. You know
She's
what I mean?
not a nurse, yeah. We can send Tina over there. Tina could help
Yeah,
out
yeah, that'd be
to
awesome.
Vegas, to Utah, to help Dawn with her dad. Tina's in. She said she's in.
Tina's in. All right,
so
send her over. We
last
could use
episode we talked about this Bolo plush kitty cat that I had sold on Whatnot, not realizing it was valuable, and it ended up selling for like $40 or whatever to the Queen of Plush or someone along those lines. Maybe someone else bought it, but she was bidding it up and telling us about it. Well, Callie was cleaning out her room and found one. This is what I was talking about. It's a kit. What's it called? A kitty kitten. And when you shake it, you can hear like the little rattle in its head. And this one still has the tag. So this one's worth like $70. So just so you guys know, this is that.
So did you just steal it, or did you pay her for it?
No, we're gonna sell it on eBay, and she's gonna get the money.
Oh. She's gonna save $1, keep $1, and Dave's gonna make the profit, whatever's on top of those $2.
Exactly.
Do you collect the fees or what?
Not usually. I'm with Elijah and Anna. I will. With Callie, I don't usually.
Are you gonna 1099 Callie for this?
Yes,
probably not gonna go over 600.
I might do an S corp. Speaking of that, I don't know. That's something I'm thinking about doing. Are you an S corp carrier or an LLC? This is where we get real boring.
I know this is deep. LLC.
You can be both, and should be both.
Oh yeah, true. You should be both. That makes sense. Yeah. Anyways, so
you should, not everybody.
I should,
for the record.
So we did get a couple questions over on the Patreon. Amy Lee, I don't really know if I get this question, to be honest with you. But I'm going to ask it anyways, because Amy wants us to answer it. If you had to spend $15,000 on a credit card in the next 60 days, what would you buy to flip?
If you had
I don't get it, because, like, you can spend $15,000 on a credit card tomorrow. It's, like, doesn't seem like that crazy of a scenario.
Some Brewster's Millions.
I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Probably get a fund a baseball team and start a league.
What would you flip? Probably the best thing to do, to be honest with you, because if you have to use it, because you can't use a credit card at 99% of garage sales, would be Whatnot. Would be the best thing to do, right?
Buy cards and do packs.
No,
like,
gosh.
Well, I mean, first off, I don't do credit cards. So number one. So, but if I had 15,
pretending we did.
If I had $15,000 on a credit card that I was going to use, I would buy out collections. I would buy out some collections and put them through Whatnot, get my money back. Because I could buy a collection, sell half of it, get my money back, put the rest on eBay.
Well, I'm just going to say this.
I would just want to pay it off so I could not have interest.
Okay. But I'm going to say this because there's a lot of resellers out there, their heads are exploding because you both said you don't use credit cards. And I hate credit cards. I don't have a personal credit card. I've never used a personal credit card. But I do use one for my business because there is some huge benefits to it, and you just automatically get it. But Dave, if I were you, I would definitely not use credit cards.
Yeah, I have a spending problem. I've tried credit cards. It didn't go well. I ain't doing it again.
Yeah,
it took enough years to get out of it.
I don't do well with credit cards. If I don't have the money, I don't buy the stuff. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't bother me at all.
You got to have the right mentality to do all the point games that I know a lot of people do successfully.
If you're good with it, there's a lot of ways you can work it to your advantage. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
Okay, so Joy said, question from my husband. Tim is her husband, Joy's husband. Carrie's biggest fan of his cards channel. Carrie, do you have your own personal collection? If so, what's in it?
Right now I'm collecting, where did they go? They're somewhere around here. I'm collecting Jerry Stackhouse cards right now. That's my new thing.
Really?
So let me show you some for everybody interested.
Why?
So Jerry Stackhouse was a very big deal when I was like 12, 13. He played at University of North Carolina. He was a very expensive card to get back then. And the reason why I want to PC him or collect him is because his high-end stuff is cheap now. Because, he was average or pretty good, but he wasn't good enough to be like Kobe Bryant. So I feel like I can find his stuff in dollar bins.
Is the name?
Jerry Bruckheimer. Awesome. Yeah, he was great in Jerry Maguire. One of his best films.
Finding Keepers Resale, who I'm going out to dinner with on Saturday and hopefully not getting murdered. Me and Tina are going out to dinner with them. This is one of the benefits of being in the Patreon, guys. The benefits of being in the Patreon.
Yeah, Flip the World wants a spot in the podcast, so he could just take your spot if you do get murdered.
If I do get murdered. So he said, since you guys have such a large following, why not do YouTube auctions live on a dedicated channel? You can save all the money you pay to Whatnot and fees there, and likely have the same, if not better, turnout and maybe less headaches since you're selling direct to your followers with moderators to help. I would gladly help. It wouldn't be difficult, and it seems like it would pay off. Just a thought. That's not a bad idea. I'm not opposed to it. I like watching those YouTube auctions. Someone in our group, I don't know if it's you or Carrie, Kevin, said
I'm not smart enough to realize this question was for the podcast. I just answered it on there. So
I think me and Kevin both answered. Yeah.
I don't think it would suck. I think it'd be easy. I think I could read my answer. But I'm more talented than you two.
I don't want to do the invoices. I've dealt with doing live auctions in person, and there's a lot of stuff people complain about paying if they over. It's just the one thing that's nice about Whatnot, and I do not mind paying them the fees because of this, is they collect the money instantaneously, and they invoice them. They have everything organized for shipping. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm not super organized. I'm not.
But
like
it
what they
would okay.
call good at that. So it helps.
Pretend it was easy. It would actually be a pretty fun show if we're all sitting here like this, pulling stuff up, talking about it, and like letting people bid in the comments.
True.
It would be fun.
True.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It would be entertaining.
Fun. There's no doubt
fun.
about that.
It would take a lot longer.
It would be work. Yeah,
no doubt.
It'd be work.
The invoicing,
I'm trying to
exactly.
avoid work.
The shipping, everything's being. You're literally hunting for this stuff, dude. It would be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare. Plus, and the point that I put on there that you're refusing to read is there is actual organic traffic on Whatnot, where it's only your audience, and you can't grow it faster than you're growing your audience on YouTube.
There's organic audience on a YouTube Live.
Not much.
There's some.
Nowhere near what you.
Live.
Dude, when's the last time you got a live alert from somebody who went live that you're not following? When's the last time that happened?
Never.
Well,
Never.
Then you just answered your own question.
I did get one today from Whatnot from Tucker Upper.
I did get one from Whatnot from Tucker Upper.
I do not follow him. I didn't even know he was on Whatnot.
You know why that happened then?
Why did that happen?
Whatnot pushed it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why?
If you
are
you getting the
Guaranteed
eBay push
why.
notifications for live? I keep getting Burbank Sports Cards notifications.
I can guarantee you my
Burbank.
first Whatnot auction was pushed out and my second wasn't. I guarantee it. And it's because the guy who was handling my deal at the beginning, I don't know, the guy who does the estates, he got sick. He wasn't there to push out the second one. Nobody pushed it out. There was no communication. The first time I got a call before the show, everything ready, whatever, we're going to, whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, we still had a ton of people in there, but it was like almost 800 the first show, and the second show was like 5 or something.
I did go into your live. I was at a work party, but I went in and just commented, and you ignored me, and so I left.
I didn't ignore you. I
Did
didn't
you
see
say
it.
something to me?
Yeah,
I didn't
Kevin
see
does.
it.
Yeah, he big times a lot of people on his Whatnot lives. I've noticed.
Come on. I went into Crazy Lamp Ladies the other day. She had 1,000 people in there.
Wow, that's crazy.
1,000
Can you
people.
And
imagine
here I
just
am
selling
with
like
dying channels.
She was selling
silly
coffee, like insane amounts of coffee.
Wow.
Here's an
Like, just
update on
every time it pop
ADH
up.
Dave, guys. An update on ADH Dave. My channel's not getting very many views because I don't think people know they're my videos. So, like, the click-through
really?
is way down. Yeah, well, because it doesn't say NC Picker anymore. So I've now started putting my face in the thumbnails on my Picker videos, which I usually don't do. It's very Kayla of me. But it's working.
Yeah.
Ever since I started doing that, I'm actually getting some clicks. So maybe people eventually learn I'm ADH Dave now. And it just take a little
I've been
time,
doing
I
my
guess,
part.
growing
Every time I
pains.
mention you now, I always
Yeah.
don't try not to say Dave. I try to say ADH Dave or both.
I just say
Unlike
world's best
Harry
recipe.
Tornado,
I
who doesn't
continue.
promote us whatsoever. So there's
Ooh,
my
let's
bone
hear
to
about
pick.
this. Why
Yeah.
is he
So
so
he
terrible?
puts out this
Josh.
after this show where we're getting like last billing with no pictures, no names,
Yeah.
no nothing on the thing.
Yeah.
Then he puts out a thing on Instagram and he lists the speakers right there, big letters, Flip the World Texas. Right? If Flip the World Texas is getting top billing in this thing and we can't even get a mention.
Well,
I-
okay,
Chris
but
of all people,
couldn't this
that
be
guy?
why he
Oh,
still
man.
has tickets? Like, if he
I agree
focused
with
on
Kevin.
us, he wouldn't
Why
have tickets
Chris?
left. Yeah, he's awful. We all know he's awful. But no, wouldn't he still? He would have sold out if he was focused on us a little more. I think, and
That's true. I
really
think
Well,
that is
so
the
I'm
angle
fed
he
up
should
with
take if he wants to sell the rest of those tickets. It's
So
the
I
trash
called
We
to
should
cash
do
boys.
like.
No, we're having
We're
a
like the
rebel
old.
event.
You guys know the Nelk Boys? We're like the old version of the Nelk Boys. You guys
We're doing an
gotta go
event.
know
I'm
that.
getting a
Yeah,
sponsor.
reference at all.
We're doing a Rebel event across the street at Cracker Barrel for 10% of
We
the
should
price.
do
of it.
a Waffle House though. I like Waffle.
Well, we
No,
could
there's
do
a
it's 2.5 days. We'll do Waffle House one day, Cracker Barrel, and Jack in the Box the third day because nobody.
There we go.
We're right there. How about we do it at Carowinds on the roller coaster
Ooh,
on Fury
yeah.
325? There we go. That sounds fun. We should do some sort of like giveaway, a trip to Carowinds with Trash to Cash.
There you go.
That would be fun.
People could watch me.
lose money
And we can
again.
write
Cry.
off Trash to Cash.
I will
We can write off
cry
the
if I
park.
go on that roller coaster, but I'll do it if everybody
so
goes.
good.
You might do.
It'd be so good. Okay, so Running for the King said, since Dave is traveling, here's a question for everyone.
Oh,
What
he's
is
the
your
other one
least
I
favorite?
mentioned.
Where's
On
the
the-
least favorite location you've ever traveled to? Was it work, vacation, sourcing? Least favorite location was mainland China. That one's easy. What about you, Carrie?
That's gosh, that's very.
Dude,
I've got
I had
one.
to like
I'll carry
hide all the
sinks.
food under the table.
Stockton,
It was, duck feet and stuff.
California was a little bit scary. Stockton, California. I was worried I was going to get murdered.
I've got two, and one of them Carrie's been to, Barstow.
Barstow, I
And
love it.
I'm sure you've driven through Barstow many times on the way to
Many
SoCal,
times.
right? Blythe, California is the other one. It's like the armpit of the country. It's awful. Sorry.
You ever been?
There go all the viewers from Blythe.
Yes.
Have you ever
They
been?
were actually the driving
We might get
force
some
side
viewers from this
Arizona.
comment though. Have you ever been to Calico Ghost Town? Maybe we'll get some of the ghosts to follow.
I have been to
us.
Calico
It's a
to
great
Ghost
place.
Town.
I
have
love
been
that
there.
place.
I did too. My childhood.
Yeah. So did you guys go? So I'll give you a little review of the Webster Flea Market. It was good. I went there. We were there on Monday, last Monday, but a week from today, a week ago today. I can't even talk. I'm so tired. It's been a very long week. But we went. We got a bunch of stuff. I spent big. I spent like $1,000 in like 5 hours, and it's questionable if I got stolen or counterfeit Disney pins. This is still up in the air. Like, I don't know. I need to look at them because I got 3 messages when Paul did his auction. Me and Paul, we bought a bunch of Disney pins, okay? And we split it in half because it was expensive. It was like $500 buy, so we split it in half. And they looked real to me. They had like the thing on the back that made them look legit. He does an auction. I get 2 comments saying they're fake. Like, hey, these pins Paul's selling are fake. Don't sell them, please. They're counterfeit. And then I get 1 comment saying, hey, a lot of people are saying they're counterfeit. They're not counterfeit. Those are real pins. And so I'm just like, I've now got to do a bunch of research. Paul has already sold all his. So I guess he's in the clear.
I think if you lick them and it tastes like
know.
mercury, if you know what mercury tastes like, then they're fake.
Yeah,
but if you lick
I don't
them
know
and
if
they
they're real
taste
or not. Like,
metally, you're going to be all right.
frustrating. It's frustrating. I'm going to do some research. I haven't had time to even look at them since I got back, but you know,
hate
that's always
stuff like
tricky.
that.
I thought I
Ugh.
did my due diligence. Because I had done some research
And then
on
what do
them.
you do
and I
if they're
checked.
fake? What do you do if they're
I
fake?
don't know.
Because
Do I
like
have to
I'm
throw 'em
hesitant.
out?
Like I bought those fake shoes at Uncle Mark's garage sale. Not from Uncle Mark, but I bought
I guess
those
if I
down there.
unequivocally knew they were fake, I would either toss them or ask the viewers if anyone wants to buy them for cost. I think that's what I'd do. If they
Okay,
were
so there you
definitely
go.
fake.
But that's still not legal.
I think legally you have to bury
I'm-
them in your backyard. Legally.
I'm not
I
saying.
guess I
I'm
could
not
give them.
being
I could
critical,
give
I'm
them
just-
out to friends and family for the next 10 years, birthdays,
Because
stuff like that.
I was just thinking I'd do a giveaway on the channel, and I said that, and I got comments like you shouldn't even give them away because that person might try to pass them in some marketplace.
They might not
you
even
know.
be fake. They might not. I'm gonna look at them. I found a guide online to tell another guide beyond the first guide I had found only had like 1 or 2 things, and I checked both those, and it seemed like they were good before we even bought it. But now I found a guide with like 3 other things to check, so I'm gonna check all that and
It's,
see if I
you
can
know,
get.
I know
You
the
sell
guy
them.
who plays Pluto at Disneyland. I could maybe send him a DM and see if he can figure it out.
Yeah, that would be helpful. And I also have.
So I s-
there's a local guy named Flirty Flipper who only sells pins on Whatnot, and I could just ask him to meet up and take a look at them. There's that option too. So.
Yeah. So there's a guy, Ohio Thrifters. They were at VCon last year, which, by the way, they did that thing at VCon too, opening packs and selling them and stuff like that live.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're big shoe folks. They're actually selling Whatnot as well. They're awesome people, by the way. But he does this video on Instagram, and he's showing these killer shoes. I don't know what they were. I'm not a shoe guy, but and he's like, you know, this is awesome or whatever. And he walks over to the fire and he throws them in the fire. And he burns them because they weren't. He's like, this is what we do with fake shoes. So there's the shoe community is like, you don't sell fake shoes. You just don't do it because it's because they're still out there. It's like somebody who takes a VCR that doesn't work and go drops it off at the Goodwill. Just throw the thing away.
Well, okay, but so, all right, counterfeit is bad. Okay, but I will say when I went to mainland China, bring back that, I went out of my way trying to find the best possible fake Yeezys for myself that I could. And I went into like the shop, and then I got like an insider to tell me, no, this shop's no good, go to this shop. And then I went to that shop, and someone said, no, come to this shop, because I kept like trying to chase it. Me and my friend coworker were just chasing the best Yeezys, right? And finally we get to a shop where it's a shop. There's a secret door. You pull out one of the walls, and the wall's covered in shoes. And you go into a secret shop behind the shop
they
with
steal
like
your
Yeezys
kidney.
that looked They looked
It's like the
100%
shopping
real.
Gremlins, where you got to go.
And those are the Yeezys I bought because I wanted Yeezys, but I didn't want to spend $380 on Yeezys. I wanted to spend $70 on Yeezys, and they looked exactly like real Yeezys. And everyone said, "Oh, I love your Yeezys," for a year, and they were very comfortable. And so, like, I was happy.
Did you like ever get any stuff for free because you were wearing Yeezys? Were you like going through the mall and like Pretzel Maker gave you like a free pretzel or maybe like an extra thing of nacho cheese or something?
pretzels a day. It was crazy. Yeah, I
had some Coach sunglasses taken down off of eBay and a bag I had taken down off.
But that's what I mean. Like, I don't know. I guess the big problem is that if they were fake and you were to sell them, someone might then sell them calling them real. Right? That's the biggest risk I see.
I think what I'm going to do, I'd like to just give away those shoes, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to go and talk to my old teacher buddies and be like, hey, find me a good kid because these things look amazing, right? And that would wear these shoes, wear them. And let me give them to them and they can wear them. Just got to guarantee me. I don't know. What do you think? And it's hot in here. I got to go turn on my AC.
I'm torn on it. Back. Just take off your shirt. People like that.
Take off your shirt, Kevin. Kevin, come on. It's going to be 3 more nipples than you guys anticipate. That much I can guarantee. Whatever amount of nipples you're thinking, add 3. And that's the correct amount.
Okay. Keep talking about his nipples, if possible.
No, I'm going to keep talking about his nipples until he takes his shirt off. Welcome back, buddy.
But yeah, so
let me tell you. Let me say this, because Dave, you'll appreciate this, because Tina has tattoos. My wife goes and gets a tattoo today and didn't even bother to tell me.
Really? What's it of?
I don't know. I mean, I know, but I don't want to take the time.
Is it?
So, when are you getting the barbed wire?
Like, because my son is disappointed in me and her. My son is better than we are, apparently. He's like, I can't believe y'all are doing this or whatever. I don't know. I guess
you tell Turner that I'm still tattoo free.
Not that son, Bubba.
Oh, Bubba. Okay, well, tell Bubba that I'm still tattoo free and he can be proud of me.
Yeah, I have no tattoos. I wouldn't do that. That's so messed up. So messed up.
I still get comments.
What is wrong with you, Kevin?
God
Kevin, you've changed. You've changed since your midlife crisis started.
I've heard that. I've heard that a lot lately, that I've changed. It gets me so mad. I got to be honest with you all the time. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, maybe just stop changing.
I'm not changing. That's my whole point.
Be the person. Kevin, it's simple. Just do what they want you to do all the time and be that person and don't be yourself. Thank you.
Except for the other people who want me to do something else. Right?
Exactly.
I got this guy going on other people's comments and making fun of my new username now at this point. People, they really got to hate you a special amount to go on other people's comments and talk trash.
But isn't that a little risky to go make fun of somebody for having ADHD in their name? I think that's a big.
He just called it a dumb name
by that person to do that. I don't like that.
Well, now he's insulting my wife, so I got to know this guy because she came up with the name.
Look at that. Yeah. See, now we've got him.
I'll tell Dawn. Guys. Dawn will get mad, and when Dawn's mad, we don't want to know what's going to happen. Don't cross Dawn.
I want to cross Dawn. No. Not happening.
Yeah.
Not happening. Yeah. I got some other stuff, though. So, Dave, you're searching.
I got a copyright strike today on YouTube.
Did you?
Oh, really?
I got a copyright strike on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know.
For what? Were you singing again?
No, I had music
in
my latest
vlog. On your
vlog? At Conan. Was that
Flipper?
Who it was? No, Conan played that when he was... anyways, yeah. On a Flipper video, I did a vlog, yeah. What's your
I got a message from a guy, and he may be listening here. So I got a message from a guy who, on Instagram, he's like, hey, I'm not a reseller, but I watch your show, and my buddy was cleaning out a house or something, and I saw these Cutco knives, and I've heard you talk about Cutco knives, and this was there, and this was there, and he sends me just this massive amount of pictures. And a lot of it was stuff that I pick up, but I'm not going to pay somebody to ship it to me because it's, $10 items, like banners and stuff that I pick up. But in it was like 12 Cutco knives, brand new. Big ones, I mean, like $50 knives, $80 knives, $30 knives.
Wow.
And I'm like, how much you want for them? He's like, about $100. I'm like, dude, I can't give you more than $100 on this stuff, dude. Come on. I mean, there's tons of stuff in there. I'm like, geez.
That's when you turn off the camera, right? And then you offer them $50.
There's no camera. This is online. And, he's like, I don't know. And he clearly didn't know, and he's not a reseller because he's like, where do I find a box? Can I go to the post office? And I'm always scared because, maybe this guy's scamming me, So I told him, I'll pay you this now to pay for the box and everything. And then I'll pay you this when you give me the tracking. And then I'll pay you this when it shows up. And when it shows up, if it's legit, not fake Disney stuff like Dave buys, I said, I'll probably give you a little bit more, because if this stuff's real, some of it that's in there, I'm not going to say it all, it's going to be really good. Really good. I can't wait to get it and see.
Well, so here's a question about the pins that I just thought of as you said that. If they are fake, do I make my video about buying counterfeit merchandise at the flea market?
Yeah, I've done those.
Because if I do, does that put Paul in hot water?
Ooh, yeah. Well, he's going to be anyways if they turn out they're fake.
I've already screwed it up, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
hot water to what
activities.
degree? I mean, what's going to happen? But
yeah, I mean, he definitely didn't know if they are. We assumed they were based on what we saw. So, and we didn't hear they were not, maybe potentially not real until after.
Speaking of China, there's more and more in the actual news, not the reseller world, but a lot of these companies are trying actively to get their supply chains out of China and put them in other, put them in Taiwan or put them in the Philippines, because supply chain issues, in case things go wrong and there's tensions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking
does
of
STR matter, Kevin? Does STR matter?
Does STR matter? Yes. Yes, it does.
What is STR?
It's sell-through rate.
Sell-through rate. Okay. Does it matter when it's a unique and special vintage item? Is what the actual question was.
It always matters, but it matters to some people less than it matters to others. Like it matters less to Dave because he's got $180,000.
He's not concerned about selling any of this stuff.
So having money wrapped up in an item isn't a big deal for him. Clearly, because he spends so much.
in the bank.
So if you have an ample cash supply in order to keep buying or doing what you're doing, it's not as important. But I think there's other factors too. Space is a huge factor. Is if it's a unique vintage item that's this big, then whatever, who cares? But if it's this big and you only have a little room you're selling out of, it matters.
Yeah, how much?
So
how much was your outlay? How much did you spend? Is it $1 item or something you spent $1,000 on? If you're spending $1, then it's a lot less of a risk.
If it's a vintage unique item,
be okay.
And nobody else has it. How do you know you don't have a sell-through rate?
No.
So how do you even know?
I still haven't figured out what to do with that lamp I got. A lot of people gave some recommendations, like reaching out to Jocelyn or something, but I don't know.
She's not going to.
I don't know if that's her type of glass. I do love lamp. Harold Tornado said, "Do you believe in ghosts? Any stories you can share about supernatural experiences?" He asked us on our Patreon. It's not really
how far do you want to go down my Ouija
but he's
board
a fake
story?
reseller.
You guys want to go into a Ouija board story? I know a lot of people are superstitious.
Okay, I will just say I don't believe in ghosts. So go ahead, Carrie.
Let's just. I don't know how superstitious people are, but let's just say when I was a senior in high school, I messed around with a Ouija board and some weird stuff happened. I did the automatic writing, I think. I don't know. And then I had to. Long story, it went away. It went away.
This is why you were possessed.
It went away,
and you moved away from the
church.
It's
gone.
I hope so. I hope so.
That's why he has no kids.
My mom would have never in a million years let me bring a Ouija board into the house.
There was one in my basement. I don't even know who had it. It might have been my brothers, and we found it, and then we're like, let's see if we could talk to Kurt Cobain or something, and it didn't go well.
The kid across street had one, I remember.
A plethora of flips that I have not been able to participate in because my mom shops with me, and I just don't think it's worth the headache for the $100 or whatever. Where it's like, and it can be stuff as crazy as like a Halloween skeleton that she thinks is evil or scary or something, and she'll be like, "Don't buy that," and I'll be like,
"Okay."
I'm not super superstitious about that stuff, to be honest. I'm not super worried about it.
But you're a little
my great grandma was Cuban, boy, and the salt, the breaking noise, she was as superstitious as they came, man. I mean, it was hardcore. She was funny.
Yeah. Well, okay, so did we actually sell anything on eBay? I know I mean, my only thing was those action figures and then the Disney wall sconces that I bought a while back.
Stuff. I actually
sold
Disney
wall
some
sconces. Carrie, I don't know if I told you about that, but those sold for $4.25 a piece, so $850 from $30. So that was a pretty good flipperoo.
Nicely done, man. Wall sconces, you said?
Yeah, it was like there's like popcorn wall sconces from the Disney All-Star Movie Resort that was like they were decommissioned. Totally a random score that I didn't even realize I got, but
back in the day, a couple years ago, I don't know if we were talking back then, but I found like one of the brochure holders from the Disneyland Hotel, one of the resorts they had years ago. It was like a castle that held the brochures. I found it at the Goodwill for like $4 or $5. It sold for like 200 plus. So some
Talking
of that
about
stuff from
Disney.
the hotels or from the resorts, and you find a lot of that stuff in
really
SoCal.
well.
I told this story
They can
before,
do
but
great.
I'm going to tell it again. I don't think I told it on this podcast. I think I told it on Liz Perfectly's podcast. And my parents used to work they used to run a storage unit, and it was all the way in Arizona, and they would, get rid of stuff when people didn't pay. But my mom would keep some of it every once in a while, right? Because there wasn't a big auction community. They couldn't get much money for the stuff, and they would try, and if they couldn't, they'd usually it's like $10 take the unit, right? Well, she kept a Disneyland hotel badge for the chief of police, and it was from the 70s, and I sold it for $800 like that.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's a cool item.
Disney-
and I
Disney
imagine
adults
it's
have a lot
probably
of
worth a
money.
lot
Yeah,
more
for a
now.
time.
Hey, and speaking of reselling stuff, Disney is closing down the Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. Did you hear about this? This is not reselling
didn't even
related,
know that
really,
was
but
a
it's
hotel,
interesting. It was a hotel that lets you be in a spaceship, or you feel like you're in a spaceship for 2 or 3 days, and you got access to the parks, et cetera, and it was basically cosplay for Star Wars nerds. But the problem was, and there was a huge controversy when it came out, because it was $7 or $8 for a family of 5 for 2 nights, basically.
Wow.
And so everyone's like, that's ridiculous. Disney's lost touch.
That's
blah,
like-
blah, blah.
So they shut it down.
That's
Why
like
not
2
just
Apple
They
Pro
shut it
Vision
down.
price.
headsets. 2 of them.
Well, clearly the cost, there was no way to bring the cost down enough to make it viable, so they had lost touch, and now they've realized that it wasn't a good plan. But I thought it was interesting. It was kind of a win for the consumer in a sense, when
Yeah.
people try to push the super expensive stuff that no one can afford.
I don't
think
know.
it's
See,
kind of
but
cool.
okay, but that's the criticism we get all the time. I don't like that argument.
Okay,
Like,
let's hear it.
people
What,
don't
what
have
am
a
I
brain
pushing that
to buy-
people...
Well, if they don't want to pay for it, then don't go.
Well, they don't, but they want to enjoy an experience at Disney, but it's not
Go
attainable.
to one of the different ones.
It's we
Guys,
understand
you go to the
that.
Motel 8, it's $90, the air conditioning doesn't work, you have to walk 4 miles to get to Disneyland, but it's worth
There's
it.
a lot that's not attainable for me, but I don't get mad and say somebody else can't have it.
Yeah, I haven't been
wasn't
to
mad,
Dubai.
and
I haven't
say-
been skiing in Dubai in years, guys, because I just can't afford it.
To me,
flat
it's
can't
more
afford it.
just there was no world. First of all, it was based on the new trilogy. So let's not even get started. I mean, I could
your
see
real
spending
issue.
$8,000 if it was based on the
Are we
original
talking
trilogy.
the new
but the
trilogy, or are we talking the Princess
like
Amidala
Ray and
trilogy?
Finn? Ray and
yeah,
Finn.
boo.
Which was
Why would
way
they do
better
that?
than the middle trilogy, which was the first trilogy.
Well, no, dude. Actually, if you go back, Kevin, those are actually not as bad as you remember. Like the Jar Jar ones. They
okay, I
actually
didn't say
are
they were
decent.
terrible, although they were.
These are Jar
I
Jar
like
Binks.
all the Star Wars movies, but they're not
These
as
are
good
Jar
as
Jar
the newer
Binks.
ones. I don't think. I think the newer ones are better.
To me, I thought it was kind of funny because I was like, "Oh, that looks so sick," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so expensive. They're crazy." And so, sometimes you root for someone to fail. I mean, I'll admit it. Sometimes I root for that, and I was rooting for
I
Disney to
sold.
fail. on
I
that
do
one.
have a sale I want to share.
Okay,
I do.
let's hear
It happened
Okay.
this week that I found myself. Don did not find this. It was
okay.
from that video game lot. That I sold a lot of it off on Whatnot, but I found one video game in there. And Kevin, you probably know this game. It's NCAA Football 14
2014.
for the PlayStation 3.
Dave knows that game.
Which has,
sold
yeah,
that,
Dave
yeah.
probably even knows this one. It's like $80. I sold it for, I had it at 85. I took an $80 offer, I think,
Nice.
and it sold in
I've
days.
never found one.
Oh, I
I
found, it like
found
4
several,
times.
but
Never
it's
found
the first time I found it in years, and the price has gone up over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think the last time I
There's a
sold one,
few
it was
other
about
ones, though,
60.
so.
So it's gone up if it's selling for that much pre-owned.
Turner tells me
pretty
they're
wild.
coming back with this
They're-
new
they were
name,
supposed to
image,
come back, I
likeness.
think,
They're
last
supposed
year.
to
I'm
come
not sure
back.
what's happening.
Once that happens, it'll be a no longer Bolo.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
sold
that's a
Tupperware.
good
It'll
good
die.
point.
Sold 2 things of Tupperware today: ketchup and mustard for $17, and some packs of the canisters for $25
exciting.
plus shipping. Oh, it's super
That's your sale of the week? That's your
No,
sale
I
of the
just
week?
was saying. I didn't. I'll tell you what though, I didn't have. I had a lot of $20, $30 sales.
Oh my
some
gosh! If this was
softballs.
1973 right now, people would be just like, they'd be like, "What? There's an internet?
Well, why
you
do
could
you
sell
say
it
that?
over the
'Cause-
web."
Yeah,
Family Guy
that's
stuff's
true.
my highest stuff. $30, $40. Pair of shoes.
How did that work? For like,
Nothing
well, okay.
big.
First of all, if I wanted to see that by Kevin, that family, because Rod was talking all about it when I was.
Oh, you
with
need
him.
to watch it.
Is it on your channel or just his channel? Like, how would
It's
I?
on It's on Death Pile Picker's channel too, but his video's terrible.
Never heard of him. He's not on Patreon.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who
He
that
put
is.
too much in. See, he didn't focus. He should have focused. But
Yeah.
No, it was good. You watch it on all three. Matter of fact, you should watch it on mine. And as soon as you're done, go watch Rod's because there's a huge twist at the end of it. Did he tell you what the twist was?
No.
Well,
He
that would
totally
ruin the
ripped
video.
no, I got totally. We paid $300 for this Family Guy stuff, and it's worth low end like 35, but it's probably gonna get $4,500 for it. But then fees and whatever, right? Paid $300 for all of it, which we didn't think it was worth that much. We thought maybe $2,000, $2,500. We divvy it all up. We literally did a draft, and so you pick, and we did it and took forever. And I'm like, dude, I'm hungry. But after we do it, we go eat, we come back, and he goes, I'm giving away his video. Sorry, Rod. We go back in the shed, and he offers Mike $350 for his third of it. And Mike's
Really?
like, yeah. So we each paid $100, so he'd make $250 and just walk away from the deal. And
Okay.
Mike didn't take it. I was surprised. And then he turns around and offers me, or let's see, I'm trying to think how it worked.
Oh,
He
this is good content right here.
I know what it was.
Yeah.
Old man
So
can't
Was
even put a
your
thought together.
feelings
I
hurt
could
that you
buy
weren't the
his.
first choice?
No, because he was trying to pull a fast one. What he wanted to do is Mike to say yes, then he buys it from him for $350. Then he wanted me to buy his share and Mike's share for $500 apiece. So he was gonna make money off of Mike's third too, which is actually pretty smart. But I ended up giving. Rod said, "I'll give it to
he
you
saw,
for
He saw an
$500."
older gentleman with a lot of extra money, and he wanted to take advantage.
He was so he offered $350 to Mike. Mike said no, and then he wanted me to pay for his for $500, which I said yes, even after I paid for dinner. And then Mike's like, "Wait a minute, I won $500. I'll do it for $500." So I ended up paying $1,100 for all of it, and I took it all.
But you're still going to make good money, and it's good content. So there you go.
Well, yeah, but I'd have made good money off of my 1/3 because I drafted better than those two. So
Were these action figures? What were these?
everything.
They were Family Guy action figures, right?
Everything. But not just action figures. Clothes, t-shirts, board games, anything you can imagine. Family Guy. We haven't even listed half of it yet. It's a lot of work. I mean, we're going to make money off it, no doubt. But I'm still in the hole. I've probably made $800 of the $1,100 back, and we've sold the best ones off. So...
Yeah, it's interesting. I like that whole idea of like splitting a buy. I thought that was kind of fun.
Well,
with
it
the
was
Disney
kind of a
kid thing.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
They're a long way away from home, and
Yeah.
Mike got us into the house because he was looking for glass for Tim. And then we come across that, and then me and him are down there trying to negotiate the deal, and I'm talking to the guy and whatever, and I make the deal, but he's down there making the deal with me, and so it's like, it's just, it's a no-brainer. We're just going to split it, right? Just what you do with Paul.
Yeah, I will say like update on my store for a minute since we're talking about reselling a little bit. Like my sales quantity is way down, but I am doing way less work on eBay and making more money every single month. Like it's crazy how big of a shift it's been in like, the quantity of work I have to do. You've done what?
I've done it. I'm not setting a hard and fast 15, but if it's an item that's like that I'm not excited about, like I don't mind selling Tupperware for a lid for $10 plus shipping. Whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I've done. I kind of like to stay the same and not change, right? So I've always appealed to just everyday resellers that are trying to make a few $100 and you can find this stuff everywhere. So I still do.
You're getting less relatable though as time goes on.
But here's an example.
Well, that doesn't take much.
I don't even know where it came from. I don't even think I bought it. It was a Kool-Aid, like, icy machine. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, and it was new in the box, but the box was a shambles. And I'm looking at this thing, because it's big. It's big. And I'm like, what is this thing? And it sells for 15 plus shipping. And I'm like, I don't even want to deal with it. And so I just said, forget it. And we stuck it in the antique booth for $5.
And I'm not going to be able to stick to the 15 forever. Like, if there ever came a time where I had enough time to go try to list my whole shipping container, there's stuff in there that's not worth $15, and it's not something that we could ever sell on whatnot.
Yep.
Then what do I do with that
Bundle
stuff? I
it.
guess I could do a yard sale. I could do a flea
you could do
market.
yard
I
sale,
could.
yeah.
There's options like that, but I don't know. I've got to think
Bundle
it through.
stuff.
I guess.
That's what I've been doing.
mystery
Like
boxes,
cassettes are
ADH
tough.
Dave mystery boxes.
dude. Okay, can we talk a little bit? And I'm not going to say the person's name. I'm not trying to call him out. But
all right, hold on.
One of our
second.
lovely.
I want to get back to something in a second, so don't let me forget.
Okay.
I want to talk about sharing a deal because I get tons of criticism.
Is it
about
ABC
sharing.
Math? Is it ABC
Well,
Math?
say it now. Say it now.
All right.
I think can wait.
So I get these comments when I go out picking. When I went out picking, because I've got a series of videos from the 100 mile, and I'm doing what we talk about, which is not putting them all out in a row. Like we put one out, and then we'll put one with just me picking, or one with my wife, and then we'll put that one out because people don't always like to see other people,
especially Carrie.
Every time I do that, and I'll
Did you
highlight
even
somebody's
get close
sale.
to the trash can on that throw?
Not at all.
I just heard it hit the wall.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'll highlight somebody's sale, and I get the same comments every time. This is why I don't go picking with anybody. This is why I don't go pick. You're losing out on money. You're losing on, and I don't believe that for a second. If you're all in different cars and people are jumping in front of you, you're losing out on it anyways. So why not go picking with people that are really knowledgeable, that know what they're doing? I learn stuff all the time. I bought things this weekend that I wouldn't have bought before the 100 mile yard sale because of things I've learned from people like Leroy and Tim. I love it, and I do just as well when I go picking with other people. So
who's coming with us on the 301?
Well, I don't necessarily want to say, but we're going together.
Won't they see it
because
in the videos?
Well,
are you ditching me for anyone? This is what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, that is.
Is there anyone with more followers than me that you'll
That is so not true. That is not true. Listen, here's the deal. I didn't announce the 100 mile yard sale this year because people come if you say something, right?
It's
and
also
I didn't
not
want to do
that
that
good. I've done it. It's fairly bad.
No, you haven't done the 100 mile yard sale.
The 301
up here in Lynchburg? No.
Oh no, I haven't done that.
And the 301 is just fine. But it's
it's
not as great as everything. But whatever. Neither is the 127, depending on where you go. And a lot of people hate that stuff, anyways. But I did say I'm going to the 301. I said it on here. I said it on my show, and I've got so many messages about it, right? And which is fine. I don't mind people coming. I mean, I have Garage Sale Nation. I tell people about these things. The problem is,
I've heard you've ruined the whole entire thing for resellers. But go on.
Yeah, you've kind of oversaturated a very delicate market.
I hate to tell people no, which is why I like you two, because I have no problem telling you no, clearly.
Yeah.
Because we went to Vegas.
Carrie can't say no either.
Money.
Actually, guys, that's a life hack. If you want to force me into something I don't want to do, ask Carrie. And then he'll say yes, and I'll be mad at Carrie. And
Carrie might
won't
be
get
worse
in trouble.
than me.
Oh, he is.
I think
He
he's
says
worse
yes to
than that.
everything.
Ask
me. I will happily say no.
I have
and
to
not
tell
reply
people
to
to
your
ask
comment.
me.
You guys should just redirect all that crap to me.
I spend hours a day answering everybody's messages. I mean, I answer
waste of
90% of them on it, and it's like I feel bad, And and a lot of these people I know, and I want to hang out with them. I want to, but when you do that, inevitably somebody's left out, and it's like, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Well, I mean,
I'm trying.
Here's the way I look at it, though. Like at a 301 sale, like if we see you at a sale, we'll chat with you, we'll hang out with you during that sale, and then we go our separate ways, and maybe we can meet after for dinner or something. But like, I don't really understand. We don't want 50 people showing up at each sale together.
That in the 127.
That would be
unpleasant
for the seller. Unpleasant for the seller is what that is. We don't want to overwhelm
It's kind of
them.
off-putting, like 50 people with their GoPros on, just all loud, obnoxious people. It's terrifying.
It's just a little too much.
I got something else, and I got you off track, so you got to come back. But there's a guy, I don't remember his name, but there's a guy on YouTube who basically trashes, well, there's plenty of them, trashes resellers. My cat is going to knock over my computer, by the way, in case you see it moving.
Yeah, resellers are the worst. That's fair.
No, he puts your videos on there, and he comments on your videos. And so he did it to me years ago, a while ago, and then he reposted the video, and people are like, "Oh, this guy's tearing you up and whatever." I mean, he's calling you every name in the book, and
I want to watch that.
Said I was the most despicable picker on the internet or something. I'm like, what?
Congrats.
Oh yeah, it was good.
That's
really
awesome. That's tough because there's a lot of us out there trying really hard.
Well, he hates all resellers, so I wear that as a badge of honor, right? I mean, if somebody who hates resellers doesn't like me, that's like cool because I don't really care. Which I mean, I care what resellers.
I never understood. I don't understand the hate for resellers at all. I don't get it at all. I don't know where it's coming from, other than just boredom. I don't know what these people are thinking.
It was about a sale, and you might remember it. It was in Raleigh, Dave. A guy had Hero Quest and a few other games. I mean, he had probably $300 worth of games there, right? And I was there at this sale. I couldn't get my cat out of here. And I was there at this sale, and I just wanted a price. I just asked him for a price, and he's like, like $50. He's like, no, it'll be more than that. I'm like, okay, how much? He's like, oh, I'll have to go look it up, whatever. I'm like, all right, go look it up. I'm like, $100? He's like, no, it'll be hundreds. I'm like, okay, I'll give you a couple $100. He's like, no. I'm like, it's $350 worth of games, maybe. And I'm just like, and I was getting frustrated because I wanted to go to more sales. I'm there for 15 minutes waiting. But you edit that stuff out of the video, right? So the video doesn't look like but it looks like I'm upset because I was. And so he's just like, this guy doesn't have patience to wait for a minute while he looks something up. I'm like, dude, I was there for 15 minutes standing there doing nothing.
Here's the thing. If you're at a yard sale selling stuff, know what you want for your stuff.
Or have an idea.
Or have an idea. That seems silly.
Hundreds? I'm like, 200? I'm up in my price, whatever. And the guy's like, this is $1,000 worth of game. I'm like, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. Because they came out with a new Hero Quest game and the price of the old one went down.
I'll always tell people, like, if they were to ask me, I would tell them to sell a lot of the stuff I buy on eBay. But most people have zero intention to sell stuff online. They have jobs. They don't want to bother with it.
They will bring you more stuff most of the time. I went to a sale on the way to Turner's baseball game this week, and I'm asking, I'm like, hey, you got any T-shirts? She's like, oh, I have some, but they're yellowed, and I didn't want to bring them out. And I'm like, oh, I'll look at them. She goes and brings out a stack of Hard Rock, has a vintage Dale shirt, a vintage Disney shirt in there, big old pile. It's like, how about $20, right? And they're in the house. They don't care. I told them I was a reseller before
That's free $20 for them. They were never going to sell that stuff.
No. So dumb. Okay.
I went axe throwing in California.
Oh,
that was fun. Yeah, that was fun. Have you done it yet?
Had time for the Discord, but had time for axe throwing. You need to get some aggression.
It was with coworkers. It was like a company event, but it was.
Did you hit
fun.
the target?
I'm actually weirdly good at it. Yes, I'm weirdly good at axe
throwing. You look like you would be, but I know you.
Yeah, he looks like a lumberjack. Actually,
he does look like a bizarro lumberjack.
Yeah, and so that was fun. And then today I went with my kids and saw Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2, whatever.
Turner boy.
Can I just like?
I like it. I actually like that.
My kids were very angry about the ending, Kevin. They did not like the lack of
angry because now I got resolution that much again to go see the next one. That's what ticked me off.
Yeah, I thought it was good though. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty fun movie.
You think? Yeah, it was long.
Yeah, it makes me think like, what's the multiverse version of Kevin? Like, if we were in another universe, what is Kevin like doing?
I think there's a pencil
bald because he didn't ever find the Just for Men.
Like just really
definitely bald.
Who would be Uncle Steve?
I think he's bald with a beard.
What's the uncle?
Kevin's
the
bald
uncle
with a
in
beard.
Spider-Man?
I can't remember his name, but
Uncle something that died.
Uncle Funkle.
Uncle Funkle. That was his.
Funkle Uncle.
I know who you're talking about, but I forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think there's like a cool version of Kevin in a different dimension for sure. Pencil mustache. Says stuff in like a Cajun accent. I kind of picture a Cajun Kevin personally.
Yes.
I saw a TikTok.
How you doing, Glenn?
Carrie, I saw a TikTok where it said like, how come everyone from every 90s kids knows every word to this song but doesn't even remember the song? And it starts going, follow me and everything is okay. Remember that song from Uncle Cracker? Yeah. And I totally had forgotten it existed. And I'm sitting there and I'm like singing every word. I'm like, how do I know every word to this song?
I don't even think that's from the 90s, dude. I think that's like 2000, 2001 if you want to get technical.
Is it really?
You're exactly right. I was in college.
I bet you.
Well, they said 90s kid. So we were 90s kids.
Are we 90? Are people born in the 90s kids, or people who were kids in the 90s kids?
I was born in 77. I'm an 80s kid.
You were technically still a kid in the early 90s, Kevin. Like, you were probably Zach Morris, right? You were the same age as Zach Morris with the bleached blonde hair.
Zach Morris with a mullet is what I was.
We're referring to
the Zach Morris.
We are referring to the 1890s with Kevin. The 1890s.
I had a pink sweater I wore. I mean, it was totally Zach
Ask Kevin about the McKinley assassination, and he'll go on for days. The 1890s were crazy.
What's the comment of the week, Kevin? Normally you're all ready with a comment of the week and you've got nothing for us.
Actually, it might be a reply I heard. So Harry Tornado said, "I'll buy Kevin a new shed if he tears down the other one."
Yeah, but Harry Tornado really can't be the comment of the week. You got to pick someone that's not such a famous superstar.
Yeah, and a sellout too. Can we say that?
Yeah, a famous sellout superstar is what Harold Tornado is. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
he's not listening at this point. If he's gone this far into the podcast, he's not using his time wisely.
So Kevin said, why does the trailer on this thing still got him on it? And Carrie said he's not listening anymore. They said it at the same time, and people don't have brains like ours, so they can't hear it all, Carrie. So I was just clarifying what all the people said.
So I don't think I've ever used anybody else's name. I don't think somebody will find one in a title of my video. I know you guys have because you abuse me all the time. But
at Commonwealth Picker touched my butt at this yard sale.
Commonwealth Picker touched my butt again. I've had several of those.
The sequel.
Poor Kevin.
Did you ever do the credit card in high school, Carrie? Where people would take their hand and slide it up your butt crack and say credit card? Was that a thing in Utah?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Kevin,
we had something called, I don't know what you guys call it.
Sale.
We had something called the squirrel tap. Do you guys know what a squirrel tap is?
Well, tell us.
That's where people walk by you and they just kind of hit you.
Oh, we called it a Jimmy tap. We called it a Jimmy tap.
We do all the time.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, my old high school baseball coach, somebody tried to get him in trouble for it. I'm like, dude, I've probably smacked. I shouldn't say this. This will be clipped out of the show. I've smacked probably.
Here comes the title, baby. How many wieners have you slapped on the baseball field, Kevin?
Wieners? Oh, wait a minute. No, I thought we were talking about their backside. I've never done that. Not on purpose.
Well, we were talking about Jimmy taps, Kevin. Is your butt called your Jimmy?
Okay.
I'm glad we clarified that.
You're walking through a minefield right now, Kevin. Focus.
I thought he was literally saying he was tapping people in the junk.
I know, he's like thousands.
What the heck?
That's funny.
I can't even tell you the number of Jimmys I've tapped.
Oh my gosh!
So you're talking about a butt pat, is what you're?
Yeah.
And did you get consent?
Yeah, that's a baseball.
No, I did it all the time. All right, when are the trash Jen and Aton? When are the Trash Cash Boys appearing on the I'd Flip That game show? Perfect.
I think you guys should do it. It was a lot of fun. We should do it.
Did you do it?
Yeah, me and Dawn did it. It was really fun. It's like Jeopardy. I love Jeopardy.
This stuff. I'd have gone and watched it. You'd be good at it, Carrie.
I think I
bet you're
mentioned it.
good
You're probably
at
busy
Trivial
not
Pursuit.
watching what
You
I'm
have
doing.
more useless knowledge than most people.
That's true. That's fair. That is fair and true.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure
that's
we
why I
just
like
have to
Jeopardy.
go.
Here's one. Dude No Way Flip says, you can hear Kevin evaluating his future with this podcast with every sigh. This was a rough one to listen to. This is a good comment, but it's not just this one. It's every episode since number 14.
That's true.
Yeah,
man.
they're all
You've
bad
been a
episodes. I
trooper.
agree.
What's that? We're on episode 85, so you've been with us for roughly 130 episodes at this point, if I'm doing my math correct. Yeah, minus vacations, which is like every
I want Tim
third.
to come back on. Over the years.
Yeah, dude.
Come back on.
Tim was hilarious.
Well, is he going to be at the 301?
Go back, go watch his episode. It was great. Tommy Bernard's episode. Watch that also.
Yeah, Tommy Bernard, our biggest fan. His episode was fantastic. We should really do a bunch of shorts from that episode, just so people think he's coming on the show right now. I really think that
we should just do that. Just cut up that whole podcast a short every day for a month.
Be good. I like
This
that.
is Susquehanna Picker. He says, so if everyone is in agreement, Kevin looks like Ernest. What's the next video called? Ernest goes to garage sales? Ernest goes picking? Ernest goes to the bench? This is actually Susquehanna Picker.
That's pretty good.
He sent me a...
Oh, well, thanks for not sending me anything, Susquehanna.
Where
Picker.
is Susquehanna? It's somewhere on the East Coast, right?
It's in Canada.
Is that a place?
It's in Canada. It's a Canadian thing.
That's Saskatchewan. It's Pennsylvania.
Well, what's Susquehanna? Is that like a bunch of trees in the Appalachia?
University, Susquehanna, Pennsylvania.
We're Googling it.
There you go.
I like the line in Billy Madison where he says, I drew the duck blue because I've never seen a blue duck. That's a good line. And I have a blue duck right here. So I think that's why I thought of it.
I like the line from Blank Check where the kid's like, I'm going to buy a castle and an arcade.
Yeah, that movie wasn't very realistic.
I don't know any lines from anything. I'm terrible.
I have like a bunch of trips coming up, so we're gonna do the 301, and then my work has asked me to stay in North Carolina, Kevin, that whole next week.
Come on up here
No.
for a day.
Come on
Get
up
my
here for
stuff
a day,
figured
sir.
out. I got some technological issues. You need to come up. I'll pay you for
I
a
honestly
week.
could. Like, so Tina's coming up with me,
Sleep in the shade.
and Tina's
Tina
coming up
can
with
come.
me, and we're. Well, no, because she's gonna drive home Sunday, Father's Day. That's her plan. Is to leave
You have
on
to,
Father's
if you
Day and
visit
leave in
Kevin,
North
though, you have
Carolina.
to stay in his weird swinger shed with that one.
And then, well,
weird
yeah, I
bed
will.
in the
That
back.
sounds
That's
fine.
what we're gonna
And then
call it.
Monday we have off at work because it's June 19th, and that's a holiday now. And so I could technically come up there, Kevin, on June 19th. So we'll have to talk about that offline. What are you doing? You're like pointing your finger, like
Mary
I'm waiting.
McQueen,
You're about to
I
say
saw
something.
Somebody made a comment about Rockstar Flipper, so you got to read this. But I got to
yeah,
make sure it's
Casey.
not too bad before I read it. Okay, here it is. Kevin, I thought your story was funny. I don't know what that is. The look on your face was so sad. I just wanted to give you a hug. Dave and Carrie, Rockstar Flipper did a video on first class shipping. Kevin, see your favorite Pinterest subscriber is in the corner. All right, so she's subscribed to Pinterest. So, see, there's first class stories. When I did the first class video about the end of first class, I had so many comments. I actually started deleting them, which I don't always do, but these I did because I didn't want people to think that these people were right and I was wrong. They're like, first class is not ending. I'm so sick of your thumbnails and your titles and lying to people. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's ending.
I
It's
agree.
ending. It is ending.
Is it really? I
Yeah.
never heard of that.
They're just changing the name. It's like throwing NC Picker
Yes,
in
he
the
left
garbage.
the show, Carrie. He
There
left
we
that,
go,
dude. That was so
finally.
good. The
Why
throwing
did he do
the
that
NC
for?
Picker in
We
the
didn't even
garbage
do anything
was,
wrong.
Well, because he doesn't think we listen to him, and the only reason we don't
Well,
listen
he
to him
has
is
to have
lately,
something worth
Can-
listening
Carrie,
to.
Can we talk since he's not here? Let's talk
Yeah.
about. He's gotten a little big for his britches on this show, and he just
He
never
has.
freaking shuts up anymore. I feel like we've really got to
Yeah.
work harder on keeping him quiet. Like right now,
feel
this
like
is the moment, the best moment of the show.
I feel like we
Oh,
gave
here
him
he
a
is. Crap.
lot of time to pontificate in this episode, more than he
I know.
deserved.
Well, and it's my fault because I'm super jet lagged, and I was in bed at 9 o'clock.
I'm trying to
right?
be
I'm in bed.
considerate because everybody was so mad at us last episode because we didn't let Kevin talk for 17 hours about bubble wrap.
I know. And
I mean,
now
come
they
on,
see
we
why
have
we
to
interrupt
have
him.
people
Guys,
listen to
comment
this
down below if
podcast.
you regret complaining about us interrupting him after us not
Yeah.
interrupting him.
Did you
all day.
listen to this podcast? He just talked
It's been
about
brutal.
nothing for an hour and a half.
Yeah. And it's, like I said, it's partially my fault. I was in bed at 9 o'clock, right? Tina comes in. I was like, hey, you want to watch a movie or something? I'm going to bed. She's like, dude, you have a podcast in 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh, gosh, I'm so tired. Like, I was like half asleep. And then Carrie and Kevin were like, Dave, where are you? Dave, where are you?
You know it's bad when I'm asking you, what's going on, man? I'm sitting here
I'm
waiting
just so
on time for
I'm
something.
just so jet lagged. I'm so messed
I
up.
gotta
on this
I
trip.
gotta
don't
get
know
up
what
early
happened.
tomorrow to be on that reseller information network thing. I gotta be up by
Oh,
10
that's a
a.m.
waste of
to do
time.
that thing.
Did
I asked
you,
him to call me, so I was up.
It's a waste of time. They're over 2,000 subscribers now.
Nice.
They are.
That's cool.
I'm gonna have to have information about reselling. I think I've never watched
And a
it.
network.
but
You
I'm
would be the
assuming.
ones to watch. Stop watching
Yeah.
Rockstar Flipper and start watching
Well,
Reselling.
how am I gonna know about news that's not important if I don't watch the Rockstar Flipper? How am
You're
I
not
gonna
watching
know
Casey
that
Neistat.
the USPS is shutting down first class shipping?
Yeah, I heard
first,
that from
because I
from
always
the
hear it first
Rockstar
from
Flipper
Casey,
today.
and then I
heard
hear it
that,
from
yeah.
you 3 days later.
Yes, you're not really keeping.
I have
up with
one
the
more
times, Kevin.
reselling topic, and then I'll shut
Can
up.
I just
for
ask
you.
really quick before you do your boring thing, Carrie? Are we getting a jelly hands ever again? Are you just like just phoning
When is
it
the
in?
Jelly Hands? Is it this weekend?
Today. It's today. Yeah.
I'll do it. I don't have anything prepped. I'll plan it for next week. And
Yeah.
yes, we will
Somebody
do it. Jelly
commented
Hands.
on my video today on the Flipper channel. They're
I
I
like,
have
will
an
do it,
official
guys. You
request.
have my word.
I have an
said
official
that-
request, Carrie, that you buy breast milk from Craigslist and do it with that. That's all. Go ahead, Kevin.
All right. That's very
Craigslist,
specific. What about like some? Well, okay, we'll just go with that.
All right. Speaking of reseller information network, Chernock, when he's down here, said something about the future of AI, and we've kind of talked about that too. But I got a more specific question for Carrie because you have this machine that lists your cards, right?
Card
Okay, so
dealer
I
card,
heard that Goodwill now is using AI to pick out. I think Josh had mentioned something like this. Pick out clothing, like run. I don't know if they're running it through a machine, but think about that. Putting
AI.
clothes in a machine. And
People-
doing
I mean, I
pictures
don't
in
wanna
the
get all
machine and the
nerdy,
listing
'cause
be
this-
automatic.
This isn't
That would
like
be scary.
NFTs. This is like something that's really going to happen. But I think AI, honestly, I'm just playing with you, man. I think AI is going to be huge. Because right now I could put cards into this Card Dealer Pro program, and it finds it on eBay. It's not perfect, but it's the beginning, I feel like. And if you could do that with just a picture of a random toy or something, and they could find the eBay listing and they could post it, it'll change everything.
But
I think in 10
years. In a bad way and a good way. Because
in a bad and a good way.
Cost. So all these companies like Goodwill that's got, what's keeping them from dominating this reselling market, in my opinion, is labor costs.
Yeah, it's labor costs. Sure,
people,
they could
right.
They could probably use AI to list this stuff, but AI is probably not going to ship this stuff anytime soon, like robots. So they still have to have labor to do that.
That's easy, though, in comparison to researching and finding the right comps and putting... Because you look up DVDs and stuff, Goodwill sometimes is just awful pricing. And, of course, they're going to sell it because they're a third of the market. Right? Yeah. But at the same time, they're not making any money, and they're paying for employees, or maybe they're not paying for employees, depending on who you listen to. But
I was talking to Don about this week. I think AI, without sounding like I'm predicting the future, I really think it's going to be much bigger than people anticipate. I think it's going to be, there's a good chance in 5 or 10 years it's going to be posting all our stuff for us. I could see us going garage sailing, taking pictures of stuff, and it just being put on eBay or whatever website. If it's that
easy, then people aren't going to have garage sales. They'll do it themselves, no?
Yes, but they still have to ship it.
There you go. That's interesting, Kevin.
Yeah.
I think there would be what you said was interesting too, Carrie.
But I will say there are still other hurdles like this 1099 thing, the 600. There are so many hurdles that I hate, but are actually good for resellers because they keep people out of the marketplace.
True.
Yeah. And anyways, we'll see what happens. I mean, what does that mean for the likes of List Perfectly and Vendu and Flip and all that?
Just my opinion, and I'm going to List Perfectly's
event. You touched your boob
event.
when you said that, but go ahead.
Yeah, you touched two of your mini nipples.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear your opinion.
Down there, so I'll do that. That's a good thumbnail. So I'll do that.
You're not on the baseball field, so
you had to, guys, go to the visual podcast for that.
Because Dave, we've talked about this privately before. I personally think that it's not like there might be new software that comes in, new people, new companies, but I think the existing companies have such a head start that they're going to start instituting that into their own programs, and that's where you're going to see it first. So
I might sell out to Vendu. I'm thinking about selling out to Vendu. Just because Kevin and Carrie sold out to List Perfectly, I think I want to be the contrarian and sell out to Vendu.
We're going to be speaking at the camp listing party. Did you know that, Dave?
List Perfectly.
No, I didn't.
Are we speaking of what?
Kevin's speaking at the Boss Reseller Remix. I didn't know this until I saw it on the website.
Wow! Congrats,
but you're not supposed
Kevin.
to say that yet. I don't know if they came out. I think
it was on it's a picture on their website, dude.
He said.
And
it's
the
on their
Let's
Instagram.
Do Lunch podcast is on there. How do they get an invite? And the Trash to Cash, we better be there next year.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
We're gonna be.
I don't know what's happening.
Go to the Golden Nugget
since
and have
we invited them to our event. I officially.
They said we were going to be in the next one. That's what they told us in person. I love them. They're very nice people. But what happened, guys?
To be honest with you, I wanted
actually
to see
told me, Carrie, they're like, we would love you to come, but don't invite Carrie. It's what they said.
Oh,
yeah,
dang.
It's hurtful, but
that's fair. Hey, are the Vegas Knights still in it, Carrie?
Go to the Boss
Reseller
game.
They won their first game. Nice.
I think,
the Knights, dude. I think we were up 2-0 earlier when I was watching the game at the card shop. Wow. So I think we're going to be up 2-0 now. Golden Knights.
Who are they playing?
I've been a fan for days now.
They beat. Oh wait, it's they're 7-2 versus the Florida Panthers right now.
Yeah, we're beating Florida, guys.
What kind of world is hockey?
I'm excited for the parade. I've never been to one.
For
like the hottest places in the U.S. are winning right now.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Ice hockey hotbeds, Las Vegas and where's Miami? Yeah.
Edmonton.
The Edmonton of Southern Florida, Miami.
Rod commented, and this is not picking and punching. How come there's feedback here? Another gut-busting episode, guys. A lot of measurement judging. The old hole in the back of the fanny pack trick. It works 60% of the time, all of the time.
That was pretty funny. I forgot about that line.
Mm-hmm. And Marilyn Mack says, Kevin, time to bell the cat. They give the rabbits a chance to get away from Dobby. That was part of it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. Okay. Let's end the show, guys. Trash Cash Podcast 85 is in the can. Thank you so much for coming, and we will see you next time.
We did it.
Barely.